definitely feels like a transition year. I like to piecemeal things together, or a lot of the times we just keep it simple and do the bare minimum until I finally just had an aha moment. If she does not finish this curriculum in 1 year, doesn't bother me. I feel like I'd be making Charlotte Mason proud, right? Just very short, focused lessons. Today's video is part of my curriculum pick series for the 2024-2025 school year. So in case you're new around here, hi, my name is Sarah and I am a homeschooling mom to 5 kiddos. They range in age from pre-K all the way up through high school. So my oldest, Noah, is in 11th grade, Leah is in 10th grade, Mariah's in 5th, Ezra is going to be doing kindergarten, and then Ava, my youngest, is in pre-K. Now, our homeschool style could definitely be labeled as eclectic. I don't hold to any one homeschool style as our identity. We do a little bit of traditional things, some unit studies. I like to say that we do it all with a Charlotte Mason flair. I also want to say that we do school here year round. So especially for Mariah, it's going to look like a lot of curriculum here for her. But this is something we do for 12 months. We take breaks when we need it. We do different subjects for different pockets of time throughout the school year. We don't try to tackle everything I'm listing here every single day. Now, all of the things I'm going to talk about here today will be listed down below in the description box, as well as linked on my website. This is a place where I have really worked hard to put an entire collection of all of the curriculum that I have loved, that has worked really well for my kids throughout the years. I have all of it on my website, organized by grade, by subject. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can search through and find things. I also have every single video that I've ever put up here on YouTube about curriculum picks or curriculum wrap-ups. All of that is there on my website, very easily accessible and organized for you. So if you're looking for links for anything today, please head there or down below in the description box. And speaking of links, I do want to showcase here this awesome shirt I'm wearing today. It says homeschool downside. It has roses on it. It's beautiful. This was actually made by some very dear friends of ours. Started a company. It's called Hudson Elements, and it's a homeschooling family that is teaching their children about entrepreneurship. And so they have come up with all kinds of apparel and t-shirts and coffee mugs, and I'll make sure to link them down below as well if you're interested in this t-shirt. All right, so let's just jump right in and talk about all of my curriculum picks for Mariah, my 10-year-old 5th grader this school year. All right, first up, let's jump into math. Now, in my mid-year homeschool update, I talked a lot about the fact that Mariah had been struggling with math. All of my kids have kind of done this in elementary school, where they plug along for a good bit and then all of a sudden struggle with a specific concept and get stuck for a while. So for Mariah, that was multiplication. She really just was struggling memorizing her multiplication tables. And so I, like so many homeschool mamas, panicked a little bit and decided to jump ship. I jumped from Math UC and tried out teaching textbooks, and I tried games, and I tried all kinds of different things to try to help her to get her math facts memorized. And all of it kind of to no avail. None of it really helped all that much, until I finally just had an aha moment and thought, well, if we're struggling with multiplication, maybe we just need to step back and go back into addition and subtraction and build some confidence. And so that's exactly what we did. We went back into Math UC, went back and used their worksheet generator and just printed out some addition and subtraction review sheets and really made sure we had all of those facts down packed. And by the way, I mean, it just, when she's getting an A+ every single day, it made her feel excited about math again and a little bit less defeated. And so once we did that, I went ahead and I purchased this from Math UC, Accelerated Individual Mastery of Multiplication, and it has a bridge to division. So Mariah has been working through this. She's almost done with it. Yay. But it has been such a good fit for her. If you have a child who is 10 years old or older who is struggling with math facts, I would definitely point you to this program from Math UC. They have one for addition and subtraction, and they have one for multiplication. This has just been the Band-Aid that she needed, that little reinforcer. So For 5th grade, we are going to jump back in where we left off, and we are going to do Math UC Delta. So this is all about single and multiple digit division. Yay, excited to get back on track with Math UC again this year for Mariah. One of the things I love most about Math UC is that they are a mastery program, and so you are really not meant to move on until you have mastered the concept. And so that means that their curriculum is not age graded or grade level based, it is mastery based. And so you just find where you fit in math and you start there. All right, language arts. I have a pretty large stack back here because again, I like to piecemeal things together. Let's start with handwriting. Yes, in 5th grade, I think it's important to continue to work on penmanship. And so Mariah is going to use a reason for handwriting. This is level C. She did level T last year, which was an introduction to cursive. And so this is C for cursive. It's going to continue working on her cursive handwriting. Something else I also implement into our homeschool is I have Mariah write out a Bible verse every day, something we're memorizing for scripture memory, and she writes it out in her very best print and her very best cursive. So we will continue working on handwriting for about 10 minutes every day. Next is spelling. We love spelling UC, and Mariah is just wrapping up level C and going to be moving into level D, Americana. If I'm honest, I've used every level of spelling UC at this point with one of my kids, and I do think D might be my favorite. I really did like Wild Tales C, but D is my favorite spelling UC book, and so I'm really excited to do this with Mariah this school year. If you're not familiar with this program, it comes at spelling a little bit differently. There are not words to memorize or lists to test on. It is a lot of copy work, a lot of letter chunking, dictation. I love the way spelling UC handles teaching spelling. And so we're going to continue on with level D. All right, and then for writing and grammar, Mariah used IEW Bible Heroes last year to kind of introduce her to the IEW style of writing. For the fall, she is officially going to be moving into structure and style. And I love these because it takes something off mama's plate. The structure and style courses from IEW come with DVD or online video course that you can go through at your own pace. There's a video each week to go with the lessons, and Andrew Poudwa, of course, just does an amazing job at teaching the course. So I am super excited to kind of let her start being more independent in this subject. Now, paired along with this, we are going to do the suggested Fix-It grammar. This is level 1, the nose tree. I did this years ago with my older kiddos, and again, it's just such a gentle approach to grammar. It only takes a few minutes every day. They are literally just taking one sentence and fixing it, fixing and marking up the grammar in it. This is just a quick and easy way to check grammar off of our box every day. Now, last and not least, in language arts, probably my favorite subject in homeschool, literature. Now, I have done an entire video dedicated to the subject of lit logs, and this is how we handle literature in our homeschool without a curriculum. And I will point you there, but basically what we do is my kids read really good literature on their own every week, and then they do a written narration and an illustration about what they learned. They put it all in a log or a journal to share with me every single week. And so it's just such a great record to have of what they have been learning and reading, but also a great conversation starter for us to talk through what books they've been reading. So I have an entire stack of really good literature here that I will put on a shelf for Mariah to kind of peruse and pick throughout the school year to decide which books she wants to read when. And I have a fresh new lit log for her. This is my favorite brand. I get these from Rainbow Resource. They are just these art alternatives books. I get them, they have a bunch of different sizes, but for lit logs, I like to get the 8.5 by 11. It is just blank white art paper in here. And so what she will do is she'll do an illustration on one page, and then she will glue in a notebook page with her written narration on the back. And so I just love these for my kids' lit logs. They're my treasures that I have kept over the years for them of the books they have read. All right, so let's jump in and look at the books I have for her. So we have the first of the Boxcar Children. We have the entire series, and as you can tell, this book has been well loved and read many a times. She has listened to the audiobook of this and has probably heard me read this aloud to the kids in years past, but this will be her first time reading it on her own. And then I have this wonderful little box set for E.B. White. And so it has Charlotte's Web, Stuart Little, The Trumpet of the Swan. And oh my gosh, I still remember reading this in elementary or middle school. And it was just one of the very first books I ever read that I loved. And so I'll be excited for her to read this one. I also have a Beverly Cleary pick here, just Beezus and Ramona. Again, we have an entire box set of these. So she could choose this book or she could choose another Beverly Cleary book. I'll leave that up to Mariah. We have The Prairie Thief. I've not read this one, but I have heard it recommended by Sarah Mackenzie and so many other people. Speaking of Sarah Mackenzie, she featured this book in one of her talks at the convention, The Year of Miss Agnes. And then, oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher this. Misty of Shincontigue, maybe? I should look it up, but it's a Newbery winner, and so I've heard this one recommended for a lot of young middle school girls. And then lastly, All of a Kind Family by Sydney Taylor. All right, so I know that sounds like a lot of language arts. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of books here, but let me just kind of give you an idea of what a day in the life of Mariah and language arts actually looks like. So let's just start out. In the morning before breakfast, she may spend a total of 10 minutes working on handwriting between this book as well as writing out her scripture memory card. So 10 minutes. Then a little bit later in the morning, she'll tackle spelling. This normally only takes us 15 minutes tops. She would then jump into structure and style for IEW, which I have learned after using this course with my kiddos. We tend to set a timer for about 30 minutes or so and then call it quits after that so that they don't get too lost in the writing. So about a half hour of writing paired with Fix It Grammar, which honestly, it's a 5-minute program. And then last but not least, sometime in the afternoon, tackling her reading and her lit log, which again, only takes about a half hour a day. So if you add all of that up, which I've probably been ticking it along here with some type of graphic, even though there's a lot of different lessons, a lot of different subjects here, none of them take too long. I feel like I'd be making Charlotte Mason proud, right? Just very short, focused lessons, all of which combined take Mariah anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And like I said, she's not going to necessarily do every single one of these subjects every single day. So even though there's a lot of language arts here, I just wanted to show you that it's very doable and she gets through all of this curriculum in 1 year, no problem. Moving on to history. If it is not broke, don't fix it. Mariah really enjoyed Story of the World Volume 1 last year, so we are going to move into Story of the World Volume 2. How we do this in our homeschool, again, I really simplify. Mariah listens to the audio CDs of the book, and while she reads, she colors the coloring page that goes along with that chapter. So for example, here is a picture of Marco Polo, and she would get out her colored pencils and color Marco Polo while she listened. And then what I do is have her flip on the back and write out a written narration of what she's learning. Write out a paragraph about what she learned about Marco Polo that day. Now, in addition, not every single lesson, but certain lessons, her and I will then go through and do the map work that is included and just talk about the geography that is included with that lesson. Now, if she is super interested in a topic, we might dive more into a chapter. Story of the World, one of the things they have in this activity book is lots and lots of suggestions for hands-on activities you can do, additional readers or picture books or chapter books that you can pair with each lesson. They even have a section in here that goes along with our history encyclopedia. So depending on the topic, depending on the week and what we're juggling, we do a little bit more out of here. or a lot of the times we just keep it simple and do the bare minimum of her listening to the lesson, coloring the page, and writing out a written narration for me. All right, moving on to science. Again, if you saw her 4th grade pick last year, this may not be a surprise, but we are going to move into God's Design for Heaven and Earth. This is a series that was originally put out by Answers in Genesis, but now I think it is Master Books. I have the 3rd edition. I've had these for years and years. I think now they come all in one book rather than 3 separate books. The way I implement these with Mariah is actually super simple. She just creates a science notebook. Every day she goes in and she reads a lesson, and then she gets her science journal out and she does an illustration of something she learned, and she writes a written narration for me about the main topic that she learned about. And then I also come up with just some hands-on activities or some of the experiments that are suggested in the curriculum, and we will do those as a group with my younger kids, but she'll do the bulk of the reading and writing and drawing on her own. All right, and then moving on to electives. First of all, I'm going to stick Bible in here just because that's the first thing Mariah does every single morning. It's part of our family culture around here. We study Bible when we wake up in the morning. So last year, Mariah was working her way through the Edgar Myers Bible storybook. She has really enjoyed reading through this Bible. She is more than halfway through. She finished the Old Testament and has moved into the New Testament. And so I'm gonna have her just keep plugging along. This will definitely not take her the entire 5th grade school year. So once she completes this, I am thinking that we will probably move on to exploring the Bible, and I'll put a little picture of it right here for you guys. This was a Bible study that I did with Mariah's older brother and sister when they were in middle school, kind of at this point where they are reading the Bible for their own, have kind of outgrown reading Bible storybooks and are ready to really dive into the actual Bible, the actual text of Scripture independently. That study, Exploring the Bible by David Murray, I mean, it really helped to hold their hand into that process and guide them on how to study the Bible for themselves. So it'll probably be after Christmas time. I will have her jump into that study. Another elective that Mariah is doing is Spanish, and it might sound a little weird for 5th grade to be doing Spanish. I don't know. But her older brother and sister have been doing Spanish for high school, and so Mariah likes to feel like she's in the club with them, like she's participating. And so she, over the last few years, has been working through Song School Spanish from Classical Academic Press. And now this year she's going to be moving into book 2. I love how gentle of an approach this is for Mariah. She can do this just once a week or so and feel like she's learning some Spanish alongside of her siblings. If she does not finish this curriculum in 1 year, doesn't bother me. If she doesn't finish it in 2 years, it doesn't bother me. This is honestly just one of those subjects I'm doing more because she wants to, and she wants to kind of dip her toes in the water with Spanish. It's definitely geared more for maybe middle elementary school kids. You can kind of even tell by just the pictures in here. But because Mariah is learning a foreign language, I like that the worksheets are super simple and easy and fun. Now, moving on to art and music, Mariah takes weekly piano lessons, so she will be continuing in that. And then she has a real interest to do art instruction. She absolutely loves these courses from Artistic Pursuits, and she has just been chugging along, has finished every elementary book that I own. So I'm gonna give her a challenge this year, and I'm going to move her into books that Noah and Leah actually finished not too long ago. I have this drawing with graded graphite pencils. This is Art Core 3, and painting with acrylics. So I think these will be 2 really fun courses for her to tackle this school year. Again, these do come with a DVD instruction, one for about every 4 lessons or so. But a lot of it is just her looking in the book and trying to tackle the project that they have assigned, and she's really enjoyed this. I did go ahead and pick her up some art paper here. In particular, I like these mixed media journals for drawing purposes and even for acrylic paint. This should work well for her. I also just bought her some loose sheets so that if she's doing a certain project and it needs to dry, we can just set it out that way. All right, guys, well, that wraps up all of my 5th grade curriculum. I'm curious, do you think 5th grade is middle school or still elementary school? Where do you stand on that? Either way, it definitely feels like a transition year where kiddos are really going from, you know, needing a lot of hand holding in every single subject to being able to do a lot more independently and on their own. And so I'm just super excited to watch Mariah go through more of that transition this year. All right, so be sure to subscribe and stick around because I have more of these curriculum pick videos coming out in the next few weeks. All right, guys, I'll see you later.